Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to the product patio. I'm taking a break from dealing with leaves. Talk about the lost art of selling skis and boots. There's no lack of technology online from your reps, brochures from your managers, your full-timers that are working with you. But technology alone is not enough to really sell gear. Well, before I go any farther, have you seen the new gear issue of Ski Magazine? And did you see what boot won Gear of the Year? Yup, the XT3 from Lang, men's and women's. It's a lot of reasons we're up about 55% in sales of these boots. A lot of cool stuff. You can find more about that, but I want to point out that Gear of the Year in the magazine, your customers are going to read this, they're going to know about it, they're coming asking it. So even if you don't carry that boot, if you don't carry hinge cuff boots as much as maybe some other shops out west might, they're going to come in asking about it. Do yourself a favor, watch the video down below, about a short little video, give you a quick update on what you can talk about for the XT3. Okay, moving along. The lost art of selling skis. There's two words that are going to kind of be the theme of this short little video. Experiential and aspirational. Start with experiential. Buying gear. You can go to Amazon and have pretty much anything in the world on your doorstep tomorrow by 2 o'clock. So coming to a retail shop is something customers want to do. So you got to make it fun. The experience. I mean, that's so important to consumers these days on where they make their buying decisions. So think a little bit from their perspective. A few years ago, my theme of my clinics was "Be the ball, Danny." Famous quote from Caddyshack, of course. But I tried to apply it to putting yourself in the customer's shoes and what it's like to come into a shop with a lot of gear, a lot of technology. You know, we in the industry, every year or two, we change the cosmetics, we change the names, we make it pretty confusing. It's where you come in. You've got to help steer them through the confusion, because a confused customer will never buy. So when they come into your store, they've got kind of their hand over their wallet. That kind of salesperson, customer wall is in between there. You're going to break that down, but just, first of all, you're never going to say, "Hi, can I help you? Do you have any questions?" Because those are both questions you can answer no to. Not to get all sales 101 on you, but you never want to ask a question that they can say no to. Because they say, "Got any questions? I help you?" "Nope, just looking." You're done. You turn around, you can punch out right there. Instead, yeah, it's going to sound cheesy maybe, but hey, I live in Wisconsin. That's what we do here. Get to know your customer. "Hey, I'm Chip. Welcome." That's going to throw them back for a little bit because no one does that. Maybe ask them, "Hey, you got any trips planned this year?" That's kind of my go-to. When I work consumer events like the Chicago Ski Show or whatever, when someone comes up to my booth or comes by my display, first question I ask, "Have any trips planned this year?" And invariably, everybody does. And they want to talk about it. Who doesn't want to talk about plans you have? Half the fun on going on trips is just planning them. So get them talking about this year is going to be a little iffier. They're probably driving wherever they're going, but hey, they're going somewhere. So get them talking about their trip. Get them talking about where they're going, their experiences. You make it more fun. I'll stay on the roll of sales techniques. You sell the sizzle along with the steak. You got a store full of steak. Get the sizzle going too. Get it. The more fun the experience is, the less it's about the price. The less it's about, do I really need it? Don't forget, N+1. Do you need a new pair of skis? Do you need a new bike? Do you need a new whatever? N is the number you have right now, +1. I didn't make that up, but it applies. So when someone comes looking for skis, you start talking about where they're going. We have a wall full of some great all-mountain skis. The M Pro 99 from Unistar is one option. someone comes in and they may have not bought skis for a while. They go, 99 millimeters? I ski at Tyrol Basin, Buck Hill, Afton Alps. I take my one trip up to Indian Head, maybe Mount Bohemia. Why do I need a 99 underfoot? Well, it may not be for that everyday use. 99 underfoot is okay for day in, day out. When you have the good day, it's spectacular. And that's where the aspirational comes in. You want to sell gear for when they're at their most favorite spot. When I'm trying to sell skis, I'll ask what kind of runs you ski on. So what kind of skis do you have now? Make a conversation of it. Get them talking about themselves. You all have your own style of selling. At least you should. So work on that. Work on, just getting to know people. And not all of you are in this job for a career. This is kind of a stepping stone. You work in a ski shop for a couple years and off something. You never know who you're going to bump into and meet working in a ski shop. So look at that as a chance to kind of network a little bit for yourself. So you're talking about where they ski. So they're backing up a little bit. Have any trips planned this year? Yeah, we're heading up to Vail over Christmas or over Easter. We're going to Jackson Hole or whatever. Okay, when you're out there, you get them thinking about that. When you're out skiing out west in Utah, Colorado, wherever it is, where do you gravitate toward? And they'll tell you green runs, blue runs, they'll tell you something. And in your mind, you're kind of starting to come up with a plan on what 2 or at the most 3 models of skis you're going to talk to people about. Because if you just start going down the line and you start, going from Dynastar to Rossi to Volkel to Nordica to Blizzard and start talking about all the skis you have on your wall, it won't be long at all before you've confused that customer. And there's a lot of research that if you give a consumer more than 3 choices, their ability to make up their decision drops by like 80%. So keep it simple. The more you know about them, the more you can go to that ski wall and say, from what you've told me about what you like, these 2 or at the most 3 models are what's going to really work for you. And what's the number one reason for buying a new pair of skis? Lots of great reasons, but one of the real underlying reasons for buying any new gear is to get better at skiing. So really talk about how the new skis, sure, it's a 99 millimeter ski underfoot, but it's got a 16 meter turn radius. That's unbelievable. You got a wide SUV pair of skis that goes anywhere spectacularly, but has enough turn radius that in the Midwest it's still fun and bouncy and high energy and alive, as all Dynastar skis are. But you know that because you sat through the previous clinic. So it's that balance, and it's that ability to put them in their happy place, and you'll have a much better luck at selling that gear. Talk about length for a little bit, and backing up a little bit. When you kind of narrow it down to that 1 or 2 skis that you think is right for them, grab that ski and hand it to them. Again, kind of an old school sales technique, but there's a reason it's old school. If I'm talking to you about skis and I hand you a pair of skis and you're holding it, you start flexing it a little bit. If they flex it backwards, don't laugh at them. Well, who cares, right? You have them holding it. There's a little possession that goes on there. Make them give it back to you. It's little things like that that gets them kind of in the whole excitement of it all. So make skiing, buying skis fun, and you'll have a lot more success at closing those sales. Now we get to boots a little bit. So that's the technical side. You have a lot of opportunity for getting information there, and I'm not skipping over that. I'm just trying to keep this tight because, trust me, my attention span is as short as yours. I'm trying to get you through this in 10 or 15 minutes. Boots, same deal. Keeping it simple. Taking that big boot wall you have and winnowing it down to 2, the most 3 models. So before you ever start fitting boots, so your customer wanders up your boot wall, yeah, I think I need new boots this year. And trust me, most consumers dread the thought of buying new ski boots because they have a hard time getting them on. Their toes get cold, their toenails turn black, their feet get numb. Any number of miserable situations that they just don't like ski boots because they've got poor fitting ski boots. That's one thing Amazon won't do for you. Amazon won't fit your boots, won't customize your boots, won't tune your skis, won't take care of the 3 kids and get them all set up for the year. That's where you come in. The experience, it's a fun environment, keep happy. See, before you ever sell or trying a pair of boots, I want to know, well, what do you have now for boots? Maybe half the time they'll know, half the time they won't know. They're black. That's all they know. Doesn't matter at that point. Just keep moving. What do you like about them? What don't you like about them? What problems have you had with them? Get them talking about some past experiences. They say, my feet always get cold. File that away, because down the road, while you're fitting, always refer to things about the boot that make it warm. Question I get, are these warm boots? Well, a warm boot is a good fitting boot, because you know that blood goes down to your toes, if this is your foot, over the top of your instep. All the blood's going down to your toes over the top of your instep. If you've got a poor fitting boot and you've got too much pressure top of your foot, anywhere along here, and you shut that blood flow off, your toes get cold. People think having a lot of wiggle room is good, so they buy them a little big, throw an extra sock in. Couldn't be a worse thing to do. Because what happens when you stand up and lean your ankle, when you bend your ankle, like when you're in a ski position, try it. Put a big bulky sock on, stand up, bend your knee, and you get all these wrinkles over your instep, over your ankle, little bitty tourniquets that are shutting off the blood down to your toes. So a light to medium fitted sock, polypro, wool, something that wicks moisture away, keeping your foot dry, is much better keeping your foot warm than a cotton tube sock and a rib skate sock over the top of that. Trust me, I've seen plenty of that setup. Buying a boot too big, too roomy, wiggle room, that's a good thing, right? Not really, because when you're skiing, there's a lot of fore and aft movement going on. You stand up a little straight and the boot's big, your foot slides right into the end, toes bang the end, toenails turn black, vacation ruined. So having a boot fit you just so it's really snug. When you're standing up straight, feel your toes about brushing the end. As soon as you get into that ski position, heel comes back in the heel pocket, toes pull away from the front, everything's happy. You never ski standing straight up. If you do, the least of your problems are your toes. You always are in that athletic stance, which for the Lang is a nice neutral athletic stance, but you can do that. So we're trying boots on. Shell sizing is a great way to get past the what size do I need. I'd say well over half of skiers have boots that are too big for them. So what you're going to do is you're going to pull the liner out, put their foot in the shell, slide their foot forward all the way. And you all know this, but let's kind of recap a little bit. Toes are brushed in the end of the shell, bend their knee, and you should get 2 fingers-ish down behind their foot. If they're 11 years old and their foot's growing by the week, yeah, you can get 2 fingers with a wiggle in there. But that's a real good visual way of showing you what the right size is, but also showing them that you know what the right size is. Because what you want to do is measure the foot. They measure a 26.5. You pull out a 26.5, maybe a 25.5, and they see that size and they freak out. Oh, that's going to be way too small. Well, in that mindset, yes, it will be too small. Do the shell size, visually show them it's the right size, and you can progress with the process of fitting the boots. Next, keep in mind that I wear a 9.5 everything. Nike, running shoe, dress shoe. I'm a 9.5. And I'm in a 25.5 Lang. I don't have a crusher killer fit. It's just a perfect fit. I got to do some punching and grinding a little bit, but it's an all-day fit, barely buckled up. It's as good as it gets. So don't be afraid to downsize. I mean, everybody will be able to go down a little bit. Now you got a high volume foot, low volume foot. There's variables. There's no generalities. But don't assume that if you measure a 26.5, don't go right to the 26.5. Start 25.5 and work your way up. You can never work your way down. Working your way up is easy to do. So we've shell sized, we've figured out the right size, put the boot on, put it on them. I was in a shop once, just kind of hanging out, and shop guy got the boots and handed it to the customer. I had to intervene, and you unbuckle it, make sure that the little paper down in the toe that Luigi and Geppetto put down in there, maybe make sure that's out. Open it all up, unbuckle everything. If you notice, they have a real high volume calf, or if you're dealing with a woman with a low calf muscle, she doesn't have a fat calf, she has a low calf muscle, okay? do your best to undo the buckles all the way, unscrew them. All of our catches are on either a sliding deal here, or you can unscrew and move them out. So do as much work ahead of time that you can. So while you're down there fitting, you're not fighting, wrestling the boot, because what they're thinking is, if this guy can't get this boot on my foot, I'm never gonna do it. So get it nice and easy, open it up, get down your hands and knees, have them keep sitting, point their toe, push it right in, goes in easy. Then what you do is you buckle the top two buckles and the power strap first. People want to start at the bottom, work their way up. Problem with that is, where's the widest part of your foot? Right here. If you buckle the bottom part of the boot first tight, that wide part of the foot kind of gets stuck in there, and we want to get it back in there, so it makes it tougher to do. Okay, so top two buckles, power strap, these two undone, stand up, flex 3 or 4 or 5 times, nice and slow and hard, and that will, of course, leverage the foot back in the shell. Then we go back and retighten this one because it'll have loosened up, and then we finger tighten the front two. The beauty of a Lang boot is they're anatomically correct shells, so you don't need to crank the buckles to hold the foot in place. Just finger tight. If you're reefing down these front two buckles, you either have too big of a boot or too wide of a boot. Go to a narrower lasted boot. Lang makes virtually all of our boots except for the LX in width options, 97 and 100. So use them to your advantage. So now we got the boot buckled up. Buckles to the outside, don't forget. Don't want to screw that one up. Put 2 boots on ideally, but not always. So put the one on their biggest foot. You've measured both feet, haven't you? Whatever the bigger foot is, start with that one. So we got the boot on. We got them flexing. Next thing you want to do is tell them how a good boot should fit. Never say, how do they feel? Because they're looking for negatives. They're going to be saying, well, my foot moved, this hurts, whatever. Tell them how a good boot should fit. You're standing up straight, feel your toes brushing in the liner. Yep, perfect. Lean forward, back in the heel pocket, toes wiggle. Yep. Have them kind of drive their knee back and forth a little bit. And they want to feel for a real snug fit. A ski boot is a transmitter of energy. The quicker or the closer it fits down to the heel ankle shaft, the more quicker it puts that ski on edge. If they give you any inside pressure points, well, backing up a little bit, before you start off, a real good thing to say is, hey, did you bring your insoles in with you? And they're going to say one of 2 things. Oh yeah, they're going to have boots out in the car in the trunk, I'll get them. Or they're going to say, huh? Because a custom insole, even just a real kind of dumb slide in, trim to fit type deal, will eliminate a lot of boot fit issues right out of the get-go. So if they ever tell you any inside foot issues, that means their foot's pronating, collapsing to the inside, and the ankle bone, navicular bone, first med head right here are moving around. Friction's a bad thing, and you need an insole to help stabilize that foot and keep it from collapsing. So kind of use things they say to help you and create solutions to them. So if they tell you a problem, don't kind of go, oh, dang, I don't know. Tell them what you can do to do it, to fix it. And there's 3 or 4 things you can do to cure about any problem, from grinding to punching, pads, whatever. I always prefer grinding or punching a shell versus throwing things in, because the problem with putting in pads and putting in stuff is you're just putting stuff in there and you're reducing the responsiveness of that ski boot. I'd much rather have the boot be a little small, grind, punch, and make it perfect for their foot, keeping in mind that when they put their foot in the boot right now, it's as tight as it's ever going to be. You custom mold the liner, compresses their foot, creates more room, allows foot to come farther back, all good things. Okay, moving along here, create forks in the road. Like Yogi Berra said, when you get to the fork in the road, take it. So we've tried on the XT3 130 here. It feels pretty good. Okay, we're ultimately going toward closing a sale, right? So put on something else on the other foot. Put on a Nordica, Technica, whatever you got. Put it on the other foot and create a fork in the road. Okay, I've told you how good boots should fit. Got them both buckled up. Which one seems to be fitting your foot the best? Which one's holding your heel and the ankle the most snug? Which one do you feel like when you roll your knee a little bit, bang, that ski is going to be up on edge, making a nice, smooth arc. So kind of create that little picture for them. Have them do the big toe, baby toe thing. How fast can they go from edge to edge? How nimble do they feel in that boot? And they're going to tell you something, because one has to fit a little better. And if you've done your job right, couple forks in the road, and you've narrowed down to the right boot, ask for the sale. Cash or charge. You're going to love these. Your skiing's going to get better. You're going to ski more parts of the mountain you've never skied before. If it's the XT3, show them how to walk the hike ski button works. Explain to them the explosion of the side country skiing. Every ski resort has a little boot pack area you can get to and get ahead of the crowd a little bit. Show them how the buckles work. On a Lang, you got micro adjustable buckles all over the place. Lefty loosey, righty tighty. How the catches move. Show them how like on an RS, RX, explain how the back flex pins work. Show them how to pull the liners out. So when they're going skiing up north, out west, 2, 3, 4, 5 days in a row, every night you got to pull your liners out. Putting your foot into damp boots from the day before, besides feeling cruddy, your feet are going to freeze because they're going to be wet. Wet conducts cold, day's shot. You've spent $100+ for a lift ticket and you got cold feet by 11 o'clock and you're not going to be able to go inside anywhere, so you're still stuck outside. Sell them a boot bag. Ski socks. You need clean ski socks for every day you're going to ski. So if they're going skiing somewhere for 3 or 4 or 5 days, they need 3 or 4 or 5 pair of good ski socks. Sell them a boot bag. So their boots, their goggles, their gloves, their helmet, everything can go in one bag, backpack straps, and they can walk across the parking lot because they're going to be parking in a remote parking lot now. There's not the days of parking and right there you go. Those days are over. It's going to be remote, old school. Put your boots on, maybe in the parking lot. So make the sport easy, because skiing is not an easy sport to do. You know, you look at golf. When you go golfing, you pull up the golf course. There's a bag drop area. There's a place you get out, so your clubs are taken to the first tee for you. Whereas the ski area, the parking lot's gravel. You're parked block and a half away. You're dragging your stuff, or you're putting your boots on in your car now. You got your kids. So the more you can do to make the experience of skiing better for them, better it's going to be. So those are a couple nuggets in the lost art of selling boots and skis. You got questions? Email me, Camillo@dinastar.net. Text me, 608-770-6374. Love to hear from you. If you want more information, if you want another video on something else, the lost art of selling ski poles, upside down, under the basket, right arm, 90-degree angle. Boom, done. That's all I have for now. Thanks for stopping by. See you next time.